Hello, everyone, and thank you for tuning into our recorded online seminar today with NCCER, Construction Career Pathways. Today, our presenter is Christina Catron, who is the Senior Manager of Marketing and Design at NCCER. Over the years, she has assisted NCCER in developing several national initiatives, such as Construction Career Pathways and Build Your Future. So without further ado, I'm going to kick it over to Christina to begin our presentation. Feel free to take it away.
Thank you, Celia. As she just mentioned, my name is Christina Catron, and I work for NCCER. NCCER stands for the National Center for Construction Education and Research. And today I'm going to talk to you about construction career pathways. So on our agenda, we're going to go over an introduction to NCCER, the state of the construction industry and the job outlook, industry-recognized credentials and why those are important, NCCER's Construction Career Pathways Initiative, and building industry education connections. And finally, our Build Your Future resources and how that can help recruit students into your construction programs. Now, a lot of this information is also present on ACTE sector sheet titled Construction and Architecture. This is a brand new sector sheet that NCCER collaborated on, and I encourage you to go download it and look at all the additional information that is available on that sheet that we won't be going over today. So first of all, NCCER is a not-for-profit education foundation that was founded in 1996 by 125 CEOs and industry leaders. Their goal was to revolutionize training in the construction industry. Currently, we have standardized curriculum in over 70 different construction and maintenance areas. The mission of our organization is to build a safe, productive, and sustainable workforce of craft professionals. The key to NCCER's curriculum is that it leads to portable industry-recognized credentials. These credentials and training records are stored in an online database called NCCER's Registry System. This is a secure database that lists all the training records and module completions for individuals who received NCCER training. In order to access these records through our online verification portal, you use the wallet card number that is present on NCCER's wallet card. So in order to receive credentials, the individual must go through training at an accredited training center. To find accredited training centers, you click on the button in the top right on NCCER's homepage, the green button that says Find a Training or Assessment Center. When that page pulls up, it'll have a form that you can fill out, and you can put in your location and your radius, or you can put in what craft areas you're seeking training in. And when you click search, it'll populate with a list of locations that meet your criteria. So now that we've discussed NCCER and what we do, let's talk about why what we do is important. So for a second, I'd like you to think about something. What do you think the average age of a craft professional is in today's industry? The average age of a craft professional is actually between 48 and 52 years old. In fact, a good portion of our workforce is approaching retirement age. We've noticed over the past 12 years that the amount of young people entering the industry has slowly declined, and the amount of people approaching retirement age has continued to increase. It's estimated that nearly 20% of the construction workforce will be retiring in the next decade or so. In fact, Manpower Group has listed that skilled trades is one of the hardest jobs to fill in our current workforce. So why aren't young people entering the industry? Well, when you look at the typical ninth grade class, it breaks down as follows. About 28% of those students will be trying to pursue a career in that will require a college degree, a four-year degree. And those 28% of students will be competing for only 20% of the jobs in the workforce. Now, approximately 32% of those students will pursue a degree in technical training or an associate's degree, and those 32% of students will be going to fill a need of about 65% of our workforce. Now, 10% of the students in that class will lack the skills for employment, and 30% will most likely drop out. And those 40% together will be competing for only 15% of the jobs that only require minimum skills. So this is what we call the skills gap. These 32% of students that are going to be trying to fill a need of about 65% of our workforce. So why do we think young people aren't entering into the industry? What's keeping them from pursuing a career in construction? Well, we think a lot of it has to do with stereotypes. For instance, when I say construction, what type of construction do you think I'm referring to? Now, most people immediately think of residential construction, but there's a lot more to it than that. We have industrial construction, which is the construction of power plants and of manufacturing facilities. We have commercial and civil construction, which is the construction of stadiums and hospitals and schools, of roadways and bridges. And then, of course, we also have residential construction. So really, when you think about it, everything around us is the built environment, and everything around us requires a construction craft professional in order to build. The Brookings Institute has estimated that nearly half of what will be the built environment in 2030 doesn't even exist yet. And we're going to need craft professionals in order to complete those projects. Now, the Construction Labor Market Analyzer is a tool that estimates the demand for craft professionals in the coming years. So what happens is contractors will submit their upcoming projects and their estimates for how many craft professionals in different areas will need for those projects. CLMA then combines all that information and comes up with projections and forecasts for the coming years. Now, through the year 2020, the CLMA has forecasted a deficit of nearly 1 million craft professionals. In fact, it's not just the construction industry that realizes that we have a huge shortage of skilled workers. The Wall Street Journal has said that there is an explosive increase in the demand for craftsmen, that finding a good lawyer position is actually easier than finding a good carpenter, painter, or electrician, and that journeyman craftsmen routinely make incomes in the top half of the income distribution, and master craftsmen can make upwards of 6 figures. And most importantly, these jobs cannot be outsourced. Now, according to the CLMA that we just discussed, these are the crafts that are going to be in highest demand: carpenters, masons, pipe fitters, heavy equipment operators, electricians, and welders. Each year, NCCER does the Construction Craft Salary Survey. And for the survey, we collect information from our different partners and industry contacts, and we come up with average salaries for the entire industry. Now, if you look at some of those crafts that I just mentioned on the previous slide, you can see that construction craft professionals actually make a really, really good salary. So carpenters usually make around $54,000 to $55,000 a year. Electricians, $57,000 to $58,000 a year. Heavy equipment operators are over $60,000. Masons, again, around $55,000. Pipe fitters, approaching $60,000. And welders, anywhere from the high $60,000 to $70,000 a year. Now, the important thing to note about these average salaries is that they do not include benefits or bonuses. They do not include overtime, and they do not include per diem, which is the stipend that a lot of craft professionals will receive if they are traveling and on a project away from home. It's their allowance for lodging and for food that they receive daily. In fact, interesting story, I was recently at the Skills USA National Carpentry Championships, which were in Louisville. And I gave a presentation for Skills USA University on construction career pathways. Now, following me in this presentation was a young man who was about 20 years old, and he was already making over $70,000 a year in the industry. Now, he was talking about how he was able to buy his own house, how he had already bought a vehicle, and he was able to live the lifestyle that he wanted because of his career in construction. Now, let's review real quick a few of the points that we touched on earlier. Construction has an aging workforce, and we also have a lack of young craft professionals entering the workforce. This together has led to a looming shortage of skilled workers. And there are plenty of opportunities that can lead to a successful career in construction. So what is the key to moving students from your classroom into the industry's workforce? The answer to that is industry education collaboration. By collaborating with industry, you can ensure that the skills you're teaching are needed by the industry, that you are teaching to current industry standards, that your students are receiving the credentials they need that are recognized by industry, that you're teaching with the most up-to-date tools, materials, and methods, and that your students students have an opportunity to visit project sites, to speak with industry representatives, have the ability to pursue internships in the industry and get that real hands-on experience. Now, in order to facilitate industry education connections, NCCER founded the Construction Career Pathways Initiative. Our mission is to provide successful career paths to America's youth through industry education, collaboration, and partnerships. And to do this, we've developed resources to help you build partnerships with industry. These resources include guidance documents, like our Guide for Effective Collaboration, our best practice profiles, which are overviews of successful programs, and our connections map that I'll talk about a little bit more in more detail later. So the Guide for Effective Collaboration. I'm going to review the steps in this guide very briefly, and then I'm going to touch a little bit more on 5 of these steps. So first of all, you have to analyze your need. What type of objectives, what does your program need? What's needed in your area? Also, research existing programs. So what programs have been successful? And a good resource for that would be our best practice profiles. Identifying your available resources. What do you have at your school or in your area that you can use to build your program? Facilities, equipment, etc. Identifying your stakeholders. Who are those individuals that you're going to need buy-in from in order for your program to be successful? Establishing your organizational goals and objectives. What are you trying to achieve by building a construction program? Reach out to your potential partners. Possibly look at that connections map. See who in your area, what industry representatives in your area can help you build your program. And then collaborating with those partners to develop your plan and determine the scope of that partnership. Are they able to provide people for presentations? Are they able to sit on your advisory boards or host career day events? Then finally, you need to develop a marketing strategy because your program will need a pipeline of students in order to be successful. Then you will implement this plan. Up until this point, you've really just been planning your approach. You've been planning how you're going to successfully establish your program and build those industry partnerships. Now you're going to implement it. And while your program is ongoing, you're going to need to meet routinely with those industry partners to make sure you're maintaining progress. And then finally, evaluating your program, looking at what was successful and what wasn't successful and what those barriers were and how you can continue to improve. So first of all, you have to analyze your need. So identifying the skills and knowledge that you want to teach or reinforce. And some questions to consider would be, where are your current training programs strongest and weakest? Do you have the adequate facilities for training? And do you have the staff and funding necessary to meet your needs and make your program successful? You'll also need to identify your available resources. So you'll have to put together a list of what your organization already has to contribute to the partnership. So whether that's funding, facilities and equipment, craft instructors, curriculum, a pipeline of students. Questions to consider during this part of the collaboration would be, do you have earmarked funding or do you have grants that you can contribute? What facilities and equipment can you provide? Do you have a welding lab? Do you have the necessary tools? And who can coordinate and lead those programs? Do you have craft instructors at your school to lead those programs? Next, you want to establish your organization's goals and objectives. So you have to define what you're trying to achieve through your collaboration and create objectives that are SMART. So that's specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time restricted. So things to look at would be, what does your organization already measure? What metrics can you already get? Are there areas of weakness, areas that maybe are too difficult to measure? And if there are, how can you break those down into smaller parts and maybe then you can measure those smaller parts and determine success that way? And does your organization have a strategic plan to which you can align your goals? So can your goals then achieve and meet goals for your organization as a whole? Next, developing a marketing strategy. So you'll have to create a narrative to tell the story of your program and why it's important. And you'll also need to identify what method of communication you'll use to promote your program. This will help you build your pipeline of students for your construction program. So what distinguishes your program from other programs? What makes your program better or important? Is it those industry relationships? What will be your communication strategy and how will you reach your audience? Will it be through email or through career day events? Also, how are you going to sell your program to students and parents? Are you going to create flyers that talk about the industry need? Are you going to host parent nights where you talk about the construction industry in your program and the potential for success in the industry? And then finally, evaluating your program. So looking at your program and seeing if you met your objectives, seeing where you fell short, determining what barriers you hit. So some things to consider would be, what are the specific areas of success and how can you replicate those? Also, what didn't meet your expectations and what actions to be taken in those areas? And then finally, did you meet your overall established goals and objectives? So as I mentioned, another one of our resources for construction career pathways is our connection map. Now on our connection map, we have nearly 600 participants. A little over 300 of those are educators, 200 are industry representatives, and we also have all of the Skills USA state directors on our map. Now we actually have a representative for, at least one representative for every single state and U.S. territory, including Guam and Puerto Rico. Now this map is powered by Google, so it functions just like a Google map. You can zoom in on your area and you can identify the industry representatives and you can access their contact information. You can see what they have offered, what they can provide as resources for you, like whether that's craft professionals to come into your classroom and give presentations, or maybe they offer project site visits for schools. All that information is on this map. In order to access this map, you have to visit the pathways.nccer.org website. And when you get to the home page, there's a green button there that says Connection Map. When you click on that button, it pulls up the page that has the connection map on it. And you can sign up by clicking that blue button. So when you sign up, it asks you for your contact information for your the school you're with, or if you're an industry representative, what contractor or what business you're with. And it also asks you what your needs are. So for contractors and industry representatives, it's a list of items that they can check off, and it says things like, I can give a presentation in a classroom, I can sit on an advisory board, I can host project site visits or office visits. Then on the flip side, for educators, it has a checklist that says, I would like to have somebody come sit on my advisory board, I need a representative to come give a presentation in my classroom, or maybe I need somebody to help me host career day events. So I encourage you to go and sign up on this map. The form is very easy to fill out. It doesn't immediately add you to the map. We actually look at all the applications on the back end and just make sure they're not spam and that they're actual programs and industry representatives who are going to benefit our participants. So if you want to get more involved in the Construction Career Pathways Initiative, you can register for our conference. Our conference is held in conjunction with ACPE's annual conference. This year it's in Las Vegas. It's prior to ACPE's conference, and it's going to feature breakout sessions. So there'll be 6 sessions overall, and you'll get to attend every one of those. We'll have engaging speakers, and then we're going to have an invite-only reception following the event. So if there are people that you want to talk a little bit more with or discuss some further collaboration, you can do that at the reception following the event. The registration for the event is only $75. You can register either by visiting the Construction Career Pathways website and clicking on the button that says registration, or you can go directly to ACPE's portal, and it's listed under the options for additional sessions. In addition to the Construction Career Pathways Initiative, NCCER has our Build Your Future initiative, which is focused on recruitment and image enhancement for the construction industry. So Build Your Future seeks to be the catalyst for recruiting the next generation of craft professionals. We create resources for instructors and for industry to recruit individuals into their training programs. The goals of the initiative are, 1, to make career and technical education a priority in secondary schools. 2, to provide a path from ambition to training to job placement. and 3, to shift the negative public perception of careers in construction and actually showcase the wide range of careers available. So one of our key resources is our construction career path. Now, this path outlines how an individual can start in the industry and then move up to senior management. So typically, an individual will start in either middle school or high school, and then from there, they can go down 3 separate paths. They can go into an industry apprenticeship or on-the-job training program. They can go into community or technical college, or they can pursue a university degree. Now, what's beautiful about this construction career path is that it doesn't matter which one of these paths you take, you can end up in a senior management position or CEO of a company. In addition, it's kind of a circular path. So if you, say, go through a community or technical college program, and then later on you decide you want to become a project manager, you can always go back and get your university degree and then move on to become, through construction management, to become a project manager. And even if you decide to do that later in life, the skills you earned initially are still relevant. So all of NCCER's Build Your Future resources are available on our website, BYF.org. Now, the teacher resources, we have free digital copies, downloadables that are PDFs of posters and bookmarks and different things for your classroom's best practice profile to show you how to host a construction career day or activities to do during Careers in Construction Month, which is this October. We also have digital trading cards. Our digital trading card deck is interactive. You can click on a craft and it'll show you that craft professional, the average salary of that craft professional, which comes from our craft wage survey, and then a brief description of what that person does and their education options. In addition, we have a craft locations map, a craft training locations map. Now, this map has all the information from our Find a Training or Assessment portal on NCCER's website, but instead of being a list of results, it's presented in map form. So just like the connection map, it's powered by Google. You can zoom in just like you do on a Google map, and you can click on each one of the dots, and those dots will populate with the contact information for that location. Another resource on the BYS website is our craft labor map. Now, our craft labor map pulls data from the Construction Labor Market Analyzer, the CLMA, that we discussed earlier. And what it does is it organizes that information by state. So in this example, if you were in Wisconsin and you clicked on the state of Wisconsin, it would pop up on the right with all the different job openings that are anticipated and projected for those craft areas in the coming years. This is a really good tool for determining what crafts are popular in your area, what crafts are going to be in demand. We also have Build Your Future videos. We have several different video series that are on our website, and on our website, these videos are powered by Sprout. We also have a YouTube page, but we found that sometimes YouTube videos hit firewalls. So you should be able to play these videos on your school networks. And we have a variety of different topics that we cover. We have everything from our Rethink Careers in Construction videos that feature actual craft professionals talking about why they love their jobs, what their benefits are, to some commercial type videos, which are our What If series. We have an infographic style, How to Start a Career in Construction video. And we also have a really cool set of videos called Inside the Hard Hat. And what these videos are GoPros that we put on actual craft professionals on project sites. And you get to experience what they experience on the project site, basically in their shoes. One of the really neat ones that we have for this is our tower crane operator. And we put a GoPro on her helmet, on her hard hat. And you can see her climbing up the tower crane to the cab. And at one point she looks down, and you really feel that perspective. And when she gets up in the cab, you can actually see what she sees looking at the entire project site and how she moves the crane around. We have GoPro videos also for iron workers and for riggers and for electricians, and we're going to be creating some more in the coming months. So as I mentioned earlier, we have downloadable material on Build Your Future's website, posters and bookmarks and brochures. We also have print versions of this material. In addition, we have different career day resources, color-changing cups, sunglasses, wristbands, all to promote careers in construction. And if you're interested in these resources and the actual printed versions of them, you can visit Build Your Future's online store. Now, this is a recent thing that we've made available on our website for online purchases. If anything, I encourage you to visit the store so that you can sign up for our free sample pack. Our free sample pack includes the poster you see here, bookmark, the entire deck of trading cards. So that's a physical version of those digital trading cards we discussed earlier. They look just like baseball cards, and they're a great resource. I think there's 25 cards in there. And if there are any materials that, maybe you have a career day coming up and you want to hand out some posters, you can use this website to go and to order additional posters, additional bookmarks. The bookmark has the career path on the back, so that's another good tool. You can even order some of those color-changing cups or the bracelets. There's a variety of different resources available on this website. So thank you. I really appreciate your time today. I hope you learned something about construction career pathways and about NCCER. Now, if you would like to get involved in any of NCCER's initiatives, please feel free to contact me. There's my contact information here. And I've also listed the websites that we reviewed today, NCCER.org, the Construction Career Pathways website, which is pathways.nccr.org, and Build Your Futures website, which is BYF.org. Now, if you would like to stay in touch with NCCER and receive updates from us, you can join our mailing list at nccr.org/mailing list. We actually publish a biannual magazine. We publish a blog. And we also send out updates about NCCER's registry system and various activities through this mailing list. Well, thank you, and I hope you have a good day.
Thank you so much, Christina, for taking the time to do this presentation and contribute to our online seminar series. For everyone who's watching and listening, if you would like more online seminars like this, feel free to go and visit ACTE's online seminar page. That's at www.acteonline.org/online seminars. And you can also find more information about our upcoming videos and online seminars on our social media channels, on Facebook and Twitter in particular, are the ones we update with this information. So please keep a lookout for that. And thank you again for taking the time to watch and listen. And I hope everyone has a great rest of the day.